it's Jackie, and I thought I'd show you a flip through of the journal I put together for January. January is my laziest journaling month of the year in a way. My journal is always kind of my saddest journal. I just use this $1.50 Studio G notebook that I got at Michael's like a year ago. I just popped some thickers on the cover, and that is because I work on December daily for the first half of the month, right? So I still want to record what happens in January, but I don't put a whole lot of effort into it. So it's one of my simpler journals. So it's a lot of writing in this book. On this one, I just like splashed some paint down. I think it's some watercolors or something like that. A little bit of stamping, some random stickers that I had in my stash. And what I did was I just stuck 2 pages together with a glue stick, and that lets me use some different mediums because the paper in this book is not high quality paper. These embellishments are more of the Studio G stuff. They were just really easy to use. So I did. On this one I did a washi border. I've actually never done that before, but I keep seeing it. I watch Lindsay Cabba's journal flip throughs, and she does it a lot. I liked how it looked, so I thought I'd try it out. Just use my Ecoline pens to write the date. I started playing a video game, so I cut out a picture out of the flyer. Just a photo from my husband's Frisbee game. This one I think turned out super pretty. I just used a Tim Holtz stencil and some distress inks, and then I did an outline of the stenciling, and I just stamped my date here, and I think that turned out super pretty. This one, I did a lot of stuff on this page that you can't see anymore, but like I painted it purple, and I did gold texture paste stars, and then I covered it all up with photos and like this little sheet of Smash Pad. Just did my writing on this side, and I did some rub-on letters down here that are gold, which are kind of cool. And I just hand lettered my date again, or brush scripted my date. On this page, I put a photograph in the second half, and I just stamped and lettered out my title, and I just did a watercolor wash around the outside. I think that was the day I had bought my Jane Davenport Neutrals palette, and I wanted to try it out, so I used the blue and one of the peachy colors from it. Then I did a page about, I redid my Pandora bracelets. I rearranged all the beads. I took them apart. I cleaned them. So my family would call that playing Pandora. So I just used some alphas on that page. Did a little stenciling down the side. On this page, this is the day I got my typewriter, and I just used distress inks to do a border. I think I used like worn lipstick and then squeezed lemon or whatever it's called. And I just did a couple of little stamps of some pluses. I really like plus stamps. I think they're cool. And this is one of the post-it notes from the Studio G line at Michael's. This one I put a little more effort into, I think. I used some Tim Holtz tissue paper down at the bottom. It was about choir, so I used these music notes. I thought they were really pretty. And I did some metallic acrylic paint on top of it. But you can't really see it's metallic, but it is. And I had these Dear Lizzie alphas that matched it perfectly, so I used alphas to do my title. And just a photo from choir and the logo from the... they give us pins to wear on our shirt, and I just tore it apart and circle punched out the logo. And then I just did my writing. We did a meal at Food Dudes. So I took pictures of the 4 courses that we had, a picture of us all at the table, and I just stenciled my title in that one and just used more of the Studio G's journaling cards and stuff. And it's good to use up things in my stash. I felt like it needed a little something extra, so I started like using my pen to make all these little dots here and here and here, and I think they are pretty cool, but it was a little labor intensive maybe. Strip of washi down the side. This was the day that I started my healthy living again, and it's hard to tell I think in the video, but before I did like splatter all over the page. I used like teal watercolor and pink watercolor and like a beige color, and I think I used my Ecoline markers to do that. And I just splatter background the whole thing, and then I wrote on top of that, and I just used some snap alphas, some stamping here. I stamped some little dumbbells. There's a picture of my sister at the gym. The next page was about sharing my recipes. I put together a recipe book, and I was sharing it online with some people. So I did some stenciling with cracked pistachio distress ink and Heidi Swap stencil, and I just lettered my title, doodled a little bit, and that's just a picture of the recipe book that I made. We had to go to urgent care one day. My husband got injured in a Frisbee game, so I just put some washi tape down the side. I used some very serious alphas. He was fine, so that was great news. And then I had one of these pie chart freckled fawn stickers, so I just put like how we spent our day that day, how much time we spent in the Uber, how much we spent in the waiting room, how much time we got to spend at home, how much we spent at the walk-in clinic. And this little strip here I actually cut off of his hospital bracelet. That's how I picked the color scheme for this day. And I just put some random embellishments in a little cluster. My husband took up beer making this month, so I did a page about that. So that's him and his friends at the place where they did it. And this was actually the Twitter post that the it's like a company in Toronto that you just go in and brew your own beer, and you go in 2 weeks later and bottle it and take it home. So that company had tweeted this post, and that's what I put there. A picture of the finished beer, and then I just used yellow acrylic paint, and my finger, and I just like swiped it across here. I put swipes them in here and here, and I had these My Mind's Eye chalkboard embellishments, and these kind of reminded me of bottle caps, so that's why I used those here, and just some snap alphas. I really like these pages, actually. They're nice and simple, but they're still bright, and I like that. Then the next one was movie night and potluck at Mila's. And these alphas I die cut. I just took a piece of cardstock and I colored it purple with some distress ink, and then I put a piece of silver foil tape across it, and then I die cut them so that they were kind of half dipped, and I did some of them top silver and some of them bottom silver, and I thought that was really cool. And I used another one of those chalkboard embellishments that was a frame, and then I stenciled all around the outside. I think I used Dusty Concord maybe, or no, this was a combination, and there was like a purple, and then there was like a berry color, and so it goes from one color down to the bottom on both sides. I used 2 different stencils, and just some photos from the night and lots of writing. Looks like I forgot to stick a couple pages together here. I'll go back and I'll do that. And then the next one's called Winterlicious, which is an event that goes on in Toronto. We do it once a year, and so I just put you go and you get a 3-course meal, and it's like a prefix menu. So you know up front what you're paying. So I just put what I ate, and I put what my husband ate. I just took photos while we're eating. And then I used my typewriter to just type up the names of what they were and stick them down. I used some washi tape that I had in my stash that I never use this tape, so I'm happy I finally used it for once. And I just used a marker to write out my title. Nice and simple. Everything in this book is simple, though. Oh, I guess that's not the only page I didn't glue. I thought I went back and did them all. I guess not. We went to Chinatown, so my husband had taken this picture, and it was like a 4x6, but underneath this line had been like the parking garage, and I thought it was not a very nice part of the picture. So when I cut it off, it was slanted. So I just decided to carry that slant all the way down the page, and I think it looks really cool. And then I just also slanted my writing. So I've never done a layout like this in a journal, so I thought it was neat to try something different. And then I just painted this side with black India ink, and I just used a gold paint pen to write my title. It's got a little bit of shine to it. Yeah, sorry, the lighting in here is not great today. And then I just took a picture of all the baked goods that we picked up at the, we went to 2 different Chinese bakeries because I love Chinese bakeries. And then the last, I think these are the last ones. So I did an online Jamberry party. Normally I don't do multi-level marketing sort of things, but this time I did, and it was fun. And so I just talked about what online, like how Tupperware parties have changed and now how they're all online. I just used silver embossing powder to do my title up here, and I just used some distress ink that matched the stuff that I bought. This is just a picture of the stuff I got at the party, and I used the same distress ink to frame that, and then I just used some random embellishments from my stash to do those pages. And that's the end. That was my January. So in February, I'm going back to the Midori format. This was just something to do that I could do quickly while I was getting the rest of my journaling ducks in a row. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.